From LL Cool J and Jamie Foxx throwing blows on set, to Sylvester Stallone elbowing Richard Gere on the side of his head, here are times when actors hated their co-stars. First, we have Steven Seagal. And going by his already existing jerk reputation, it's no surprise why John Leguizamo doesn't like him. Executive Decision, an action thriller released in 1996, featured Aikido expert Steven Seagal, and it seems the martial arts expert was trying to play God. According to co-star John Leguizamo, Seagal told everyone on the set of the film that his word is law. He also told them that he was in command, and that got John Leguizamo laughing. Of course, Seagal wanted to be taken seriously, which was why he hit Leguizamo with an Aikido-styled elbow that knocked him into the wall.
And we come in for rehearsals, and he comes in, I'm in command. What I say is law. Anybody doesn't agree? And I was like, I started cracking up because he sounded like a and he came up and he taekwondo'd my ass.
Sure, Leguizamo couldn't go up against Seagal blow for blow, but he made sure he attended the filming for the part where Seagal's character would die, just so he could get some closure. Leguizamo actually said he was hoping for Seagal's death. As for Sylvester Stallone, I doubt he wanted Richard Gere dead. Rather, he just wanted to teach him not to spill anything on his pants. The two men were cast together in The Lords of Flatbush in 1974. This was before Sylvester Stallone became renowned for Rocky, and long before Richard Gere became famous for An Officer and a Gentleman. One time, tempers flared between them during lunch, as they did during the fight scenes rehearsals. According to Stallone, Gere got into the same car as him while he was eating greasy chicken and a hot dog. He then warned Gere not to spill any grease on his pants, or else. Gere asked him not to worry about it and that he'd be careful. Unfortunately, some grease dropped on Stallone's pants, and he responded with a quick elbow to the side of Richard Gere's face. Stallone also said that he shoved him out of the car, and that was that. After the incident, Richard Gere was quickly replaced by Perry King in the picture. The animosity between them reportedly remained smoldering 20 years later, as was stated in Elton John's autobiography. Gere and Princess Diana hit it up and were conversing intimately at a reception at John's residence. John assumed that Stallone, who was also in attendance, had come hoping to pick up Diana. But when Stallone and Gere were spotted squaring up outside, John's now husband David Furnish went to break up the fight. After Furnish intervened, Gere and Diana resumed their conversation, and this prompted Stallone to storm off in a fury. Garth versus Shannon Doherty is another co-star rift we cannot ignore. While viewers of the original Beverly Hills 90210 adored the on-screen pairing of Garth and Doherty, they weren't quite good pals in real life. In an interview on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, Garth said they were both young and stupid.
What kinds of things did you tussle?
I can only remember one incident, and that was when, we took it outside.
You did?
Yeah.
Did it actually get physical?
Yeah, I'm a Midwestern girl.
Tori Spelling said in her novel, Storytelling, published in 2008, that Doherty and Garth once got into a fistfight on set. But in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, the two stars, who are now friends, denied that any fisticuffs had occurred between them. Garth, however, did confess that there was some scratching here and there. Moving on, and there's the time LL Cool J and Jamie Foxx wanted to tear each other's heads off right in front of the cameras. Given the testosterone-fueled nature of Oliver Stone's 1999 NFL football drama Any Given Sunday, it's hardly surprising that co-stars LL Cool J and Jamie Foxx got into it at some point. LL and Fox were in costume as rival football players bickering with Al Pacino's character, the team's coach, on the sidelines during filming. However, Fox slapped LL harder than he was supposed to while filming, and that led to a brawl. The legendary Al Pacino intervened to stop the fight between the two much younger guys, although he was too old to hold them back. Sal Totino, the film's cinematographer, recalled that LL threw a massive punch in response that struck Fox in the face. Unfortunately, LL's retaliation only leads to a full-blown fight, where punches were flying like stray bullets. Luckily for everyone, their co-star Andrew Briniarski was around. He stands at a towering 6'5" and was big enough to restrain the two men. Specifically, he said he tackled LL Cool J to the ground, while some crew members restrained Fox. Fox eventually contacted the police because the situation had gotten so ugly. but no one was arrested. Thankfully, the two have since settled their beef. They've even been seen performing together on stage.
So, is it true that on that set, you and LL got into it?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
we
was
got
it
into
like
it.
a fist fight or y'all just was wrestling?
No, it
or
was
they-
real.
Now, how could we forget about Tom Hardy versus Shia LaBeouf's beef? It is unclear what led to the altercation between the actors during filming of Lawless in 2012, but Hardy told Den of Geeks that LaBeouf once knocked him out clean. However, LaBeouf recently revealed to Hot Ones that Hardy merely jokingly recounts that tale. LaBeouf went on to say that he and Hardy used to mess with each other all the time, and that one night, when he and his girlfriend were naked together, Hardy walked in, grabbed LaBeouf, and began wrestling with him. LaBeouf said Hardy later passed out after taking a tumble down some stairs as a result of their wrestling match. I bet no one believes that story. Anyway, director John Hillcoat added more confusion to the story. He claimed that LaBeouf did not KO Hardy, but that there was definitely some sort of ruckus between them. In fact, he says that the situation became so out of hand that they had to be separated. I wonder how LaBeouf's wrestling story fits into all this.
You know, my dichotomy with Tom in my life and Jack and Forrest. I look up to Tom as an actor, and I respect him as an actor. He has a different appetite for, you know, being a method actor than I do. This is no different than the appetite for violence, you know?
Anyway, next up is Chevy Chase and Bill Murray. Nick DeSemlin claims that in 1978, when Chevy Chase returned as a guest host to SNL, Murray hit him in the face on stage. But why? Well, it's because Murray was still angry that Chase had quit SNL after only one season for a higher-paying job. But what's wrong with that? Director of the show, John Landis, claims that Chase's return led to a massive altercation between the two. He also says that since they were both big guys size-wise, it was hard to pull them apart. The good news is, after working together on Caddyshack in 1980, the two comic greats finally learned to get along.
I think that Billy probably wanted to knock me down a couple of rungs, you know, and I think he wanted to take me on. And basically, there was words were said just before the show.
Oh,
when I was supposed to go out in the makeup room, and he got me.
That makes it easy.
He got me really pissed.
Patrick Dempsey and Isaiah Washington are next, and they aren't left out of the co-star beef train. Dempsey arrived late to set one day, and Washington was pissed off. To make matters worse, Dempsey said he wouldn't start filming until their co-star Ellen Pompeo showed up. In response to this, Washington says, "I don't need Ellen to act. I'm a good actor, Dempsey isn't." This made Dempsey so angry that he screamed in Washington's face. There were reports of a brawl between the two, but Washington denies the allegations, saying instead that they merely shoved each other. Nonetheless, the fight was heated enough for Washington to use a homophobic slur on Dempsey. Even though T.R. Knight said on Ellen DeGeneres' show that he felt the slur was meant for him, Isaiah Washington insisted it wasn't. And after a short time on Grey's Anatomy, Washington was axed from the show. Now, both Joan Crawford and Bette Davis were Academy Award winners in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, which is why it's so surprising that they hated each other. Well, rumor has it that their desire for the same man, Franchotone, was one of the factors that fueled their competition. But even in the middle of their animosity, they agreed to work together in the film Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Reportedly, Crawford had sutures after being pummeled so severely by Davis's character during the filming of a fight scene. Later, when Davis was meant to drag Crawford across the floor, rumor has it that Crawford got her revenge by being too aggressive with the pull. The two remained enemies for a long, long time.